What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake and Kyle, Fantasy Headliners, coming at you today talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, that team that you've probably hopped on the bandwagon by now, but that's okay. They actually have a legitimate shot at winning the Super Bowl here this year, and we figured we'd take a few minutes to kind of break down a few points that need to happen for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. Kyle, how we doing?
Doing well. And just like with our Chiefs video, same thing here for the 49ers. We're not saying that this team is going to win. We're just giving you some thoughts as to what do the 49ers need to do in order to win the Super Bowl. And like you said, they do have a legit chance. They have the defense to do it. I think the main question right now is the offensive side of the ball. Can Jimmy G and Patrick Mahomes match up well enough? Let's discuss it.
Yep, absolutely. And first things, when you think about the San Francisco 49ers, you mentioned defense, which, yes, absolutely. That's what, one of the main reasons for them to be this far. But it's also the running game. They've had back-to-back games with 180 total yards rushing. And right now, Raheem, not quite a must-start Mostert, absolutely seems like a beast on the field. Tevin Coleman, does he play? Still questionable. If I had to guess, I think he probably does, even though he probably shouldn't. But he may be out there. But this running attack of the San Francisco 49ers has been one of the tops in football all year long, and they need that to continue here in the Super Bowl to find some success.
Yeah, and what the Titans should have done a couple of weeks ago against the Kansas City Chiefs was just pound the football. Well, that's what the 49ers are probably going to have to do. They're going to have to control the clock. They're going to have to keep the ball with them as much as possible. And hopefully the run game is efficient and effective enough that they continue to score as well. And they don't just eat up a bunch of clock and then not punch it in or have to settle for field goals. And kind of building off that, yes, one of my points is you cannot settle for field goals as the 49ers. You have to score touchdowns because you might be up 9-0 to begin the game, but that's not nearly enough. Okay. Gotta be able to punch the ball in the end zone as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned time of possession right there. I think that's a huge key in this game. Keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. We already know what that offense can do in Kansas City. They can score on a big play in the blink of an eye. They really need to limit those opportunities, and the best way to do that is just to keep possession of the ball and don't let Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have it. So that's definitely one of the big keys. Also, we haven't seen a whole lot of Jimmy G lately. The running game has been so successful. He's like basically non-existent as a quarterback right now. He's not hurting them, but he's really not helping that much either. They haven't had to throw the ball. They may have to this week, especially if they get down early in this game. Jimmy G is going to have to rely on some quick, short passes, though, to really get the ball out of the pocket quick. If the pass rush can get to him, his passer rating on the year has dropped all the way down to right around 68.7. I mean, it's definitely something that's hurt him throughout the season. He's got to get it out quick.
Yeah, and Jake, you probably remember this. A few weeks back, San Francisco was headed to New Orleans, and we thought, defensive game. These two quarterbacks probably not going to put up a ton of points. Well, that didn't end up happening because they went crazy in the Superdome in New Orleans. But keep in mind in that game, Jimmy Garoppolo, over 300 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. He was able to go in there and keep up with Drew Brees. Now, here's the thing, though. That obviously, this is a much different team that they are facing. This is not the New Orleans Saints. The Saints defense is not what the Kansas City Chiefs have been. So the Chiefs have a better defense. However, for those people out there that are saying, well, Jimmy G hasn't done anything. He hasn't really been throwing the football. They haven't needed him to. But when he has had to, he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Chiefs defense is no pushover by any means. They've been even playing better in the playoffs, but two areas that they've really struggled with the most this season has been pass catching running backs out of the backfield and tight ends. Well, it just so happens that George Kittle, arguably, one of the best tight ends in all of football, opposite here of Travis Kelce. I mean, two elite tight ends in this matchup. We haven't seen a whole lot of George Kittle lately, but we haven't had to, like we just mentioned. This could be one of those games where we see a lot of George Kittle just moving the chains and continuing to keep that ball, not giving it back to the Kansas City Chiefs. George Kittle may be somewhat of an X factor here this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And a point that you made right there, you said it, moving the change, efficiency with these offenses. And there's going to be a whole lot of offense in this game, but really a point for me for the San Francisco 49ers is special teams. Mentioned it a couple of minutes ago. This team is going to have to score touchdowns. However, if they find themselves in positions where they have to settle for field goals, they have to hit those field goals. Robbie Gould is going to have to be the guy to do that. He's going to have to come through. If he's got some tough kicks, he's going to have to nail those because they're going to have the points, even if they can't get it in the end zone. But here's another thing too, and we don't talk about punters all that much, and you can tell because I'm going to have to look down to say the name, but Mitch Wishnowsky, who's the punter for the San Francisco 49ers. So he's going to have to do a good job too of pinning the 49ers deep, or not 49ers, pinning the Chiefs deep. I'm looking at you're over there
trying to figure out who Mitch Wishnowsky is.
Again, we're talking about punters, but I think that's going to be a huge factor. They're going to have to pin them deep. They're going to have to get the Chiefs back into their territory and maybe make them do some things with their offense they don't really want to. I mentioned it on the Chiefs show that we talked about what they could do. I brought up Damian Williams, and he's going to have to be a little bit better of a runner than what we've seen at times in this postseason. You know, if they get pinned back deep in the 5, you know, behind the 5 or 10 or whatever it may be, if they have to move to the run game a little bit more and Damian Williams can't get it done, then you're forcing the Chiefs to kind of get out of their comfort zone a little bit. And that's going to be a big part and a big factor in this game and something we have to watch for.
Yep, 100%. But we've talked about the offense. Now we've talked about some special teams. I don't want to glance over the defense here. And one key here for the defense that they really need to focus on, and that if they do this, I think that they're going to walk away with a victory here. They need to get off the field on third downs. Don't give Patrick Mahomes those, long, drawn-out drives. Don't give him that opportunity to have that big play in there. They got to be able to make those stops on third downs and get the ball back.
Yeah, and we mentioned that in last week's episode, right? When we were talking about Green Bay and San Francisco. One of the reasons Green Bay was able to move on is because the Seattle Seahawks could not get off the field when they had the Packers on third down. Well, last week, the San Francisco 49ers, they were able to get the Packers to third down and get them off the field. So again, that's going to be another really important part is don't let them extend those drives, eat up any clock, limit those big plays. But on third down, you can't give up those big plays. If you've got a 3rd and 7 or a 3rd and 8, you can't give up a 15, 20-yard pass. You got to get them off the field.
Absolutely, absolutely. And these were just a few keys here, which we really need to focus on. I mean, we talked about Mitch Wishnowsky. There's nobody else on the internet talking about Mitch Wishnowsky. Nobody on the internet knows who he is even. I don't know who he is. I'm just taking your word for it at this point, Kyle.
Here's what I want to see in the comments below. If you heard any other outlet talk about Mitch Wishnowsky being a key part to this game for the San Francisco 49ers, please let me know, because I don't know if anybody is. But we did.
Yeah, that's the first time I'd even heard that name, is Mitch Wishnowsky. I mean, it's fun to say. I'm going to keep on saying it. But like usual, we're very interactive here. I mean, we want to get your guys' feedback on this matchup, so leave it down below in the comment section. Not so much just your prediction, but what needs to happen for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. We're curious to see what your thoughts are. By all means, hit that like button. Help us out here. I mean, fantasy football season is over, so throw some likes just to say, hey, thanks for what you guys are doing. We greatly appreciate it. And also, if you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button. We're doing all things NFL all year long. Looking forward to it. Appreciate the feedback that we're going to be getting. And make sure you check out the other videos. We'll have one of these videos similar to this as to what the Chiefs need to do. Plus, myself and Kyle will be giving our Super Bowl predictions. So make sure you check out that video also. You guys have a great rest of your week. And for Kyle and myself, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.